The art season starts when the calendar changes to September, and this art season, a trio of art institutions in the city are celebrating milestone anniversaries. Find out who next on Living a Creative Life. Thank you so much for being here with me today in this beautiful space that artists created on a regular basis. And the three of you, a trio as such, are all part of art institutions in Calgary. I am so excited to talk to you, Bronwyn Steinberg.
Oh, me too.
Pizza Luti, and Kimberly Cooper. And now, these three names people know, but also, Bronwyn, you are from Lunchbox Theater. Pita, you are from Alberta Theater Projects. And Kim, you are from Decidedly Jazz Dance Works. Pita, let's start with you. Talk to me about Alberta Theater Projects. I feel like you're having an anniversary this year.
We are. It's our 50th anniversary season, so we're very excited to be celebrating that. Yeah, 50 years. We're one of the resident companies at Arts Commons, and we've been there since 1985. Before that, we were based at the Canmore Opera House, which was a little log cabin down at Heritage Park. It's still there.
Yeah, I never knew that.
Yeah.
Let's go to you next, Bronwyn. Lunchbox Theater. I mean, tell our viewers what that's about.
Well, we're also celebrating 50 years, so 1974-75 was an exciting time around here. But we do one-act plays, and we do them at lunchtime. So our shows are about an hour, and we used to be located, as we're talking about like where people were and are, we used to be located in Bow Valley Square, so it was lots of office workers coming to see the shows. Now we're at the base of the Calgary Tower, and we use Vertigo Theatre's studio, but still do the same thing we've been doing for 50 years, which is one-act plays, mostly new Canadian works, or yeah, I'd say largely. Lots of premieres of local playwrights, local artists. I don't know, now that when I watched long plays, I'm like, oh, can't we just make this a one act? I think the one act form is so great because you can really, it's long enough to really invest in the characters and get a great story, but also you can fit it into your life. You know, it's a different ask from the audience. Yeah.
Interesting perspective, but I feel like, let's just ruin the reveal. Everybody has an anniversary. You have an anniversary, you have an anniversary. And DJD has an anniversary this year.
We are 40.
Oh,
yes, Lordy, yes. Yeah, so DJD was born in 1984, and we used to be at this tiny little space on 10th Street, and it was upstairs. That space doesn't really exist anymore. It's kind of where the roastery is, you know, around that corner. And I remember dancing in there, and there was a bakery underneath, and the baker would come up and he would say, "Stop it," and yell at us because we were making the bread fall. So sometimes we were not allowed to jump or flamenco dance or tap.
No.
Yes.
I feel like everybody's had a glow up, but thankful for this glow up because people can get bread and you can make your bread and butter with dancing. Tell me about your journey in the Lunchbox Theater, because I feel like you're not new to this.
I started in 2020, which was, so I'm not really new anymore, but it's still like taking over a theater company during this new world we're all in. We're a small company, small staff. Our shows are like little, you know, we don't have huge casts. Everything is kind of like on a smaller scale. But what I love as an artist and as a director is to find the way to do something that's still like I said before, a full story you can really invest in, and if we can't have a million props or a hugely elaborate set, how can we do it in a way that's like really elegant? And I don't mean like fancy elegant, but to me those smart solutions, like good architecture, that it's like this thing works for that and that. So at Lunchbox, I love to create things that are kind of like little, but so like intricate and beautiful and also fun. Like a really important thing to me is that when people leave the theater, they feel good for having gone there. That they like, and that doesn't mean nothing is heavy. Like sometimes there's juicy, intense journeys, but that we leave in the story with a sense of hope, an uplifting sort of message, and a real feeling of being together with the storytellers on stage and with the other audience members. And I think because our venue is small and we do these smaller scale things, you really feel like you're right there as part of the story, which is, to me, really special and why I love to do live theater. I want to connect with people.
So I love how you told the story about your audience. Like, the audience cares, the audience is getting connected, but also over lunchtime, if you have to go back to work, you probably don't want to go there crying.
No, and you want to go back saying, oh my God, I saw this thing and I laughed, maybe I did cry, but now I want to tell you about this story, and I learned about people whose perspectives are really different than mine, even though the audience won't say it in those ways. They'll be like, the characters were great. And then we realize, as us, art makers who are trying to provoke conversation, we go, oh, they may never have met someone like that. And now they've met them on stage and they have hopefully empathy for different people's scenarios, but also in a fun way.
I also feel like all I heard was great marketing. Great marketing. People loved it. They're gonna tell everybody and they're gonna come back.
Yeah.
All of our theaters are quite intimate, and I think that there is something about being close to the work. And that's great for us for dance. We want audiences to feel like they're a part of it and see our faces and be in it.
That intimacy, I think, is super important. And when we moved from that Canmore Opera House log cabin, 40 odd seats, to the 400-seat theatre, it was really important to us that actually no seat is further from the stage than it was down in the log cabin. So every seat is within 38 feet, I think it is, of the stage. So whoever you're seeing or whatever you're seeing on the stage there is very close to you, and it's very intimate. Mm-hmm. What I love about theatre is that there is this collective decision by the audience to suspend their belief and believe everything that is happening on that stage, wherever it's set or whoever the characters are. And I think that that's just, it lends itself to incredibly powerful storytelling. The audience can't help just to be involved in, whether they are, standing, sitting, contributing vocally, or clapping at the end.
I think everybody should be going to live theater, be experiencing what's in your city, different people in your city, different performances. I want to ask you, Kim, how does it feel like to be the artistic director compared to being the dancer?
I feel that I've just been so incredibly fortunate. I have a kind of a romantic story with DJD. I saw the first show and then I was like, that is what I'm going to be when I grow up as a teenager. Mm-hmm. And it worked out. Not to say that there weren't bumps and bruises. The first year I was in the company, I actually got kicked out, but I made it back. It's like, no, Vicky, you're wrong. And so I've been here. This will actually be my 35th season. So that's a really long time, and it's been a journey. I was a dancer, I was resident choreographer, I was mentored by Vicky for a long time. I was artistic associate, and then I've been artistic director for 11 years. I still feel like I'm getting started, but what an opportunity to have that chance to grow. And then how am I going to help foster that growth, to encourage dancers to be choreographers, to keep them growing and hungry, and to keep creating new work. And we're working in the medium of jazz, which this is a strange place to find jazz dance in the world, right? It's a Black American art form. We are not that. And there are few people who are actually digging into the roots of jazz and making rooted jazz dance that is historically driven and does work with jazz music and does value jazz music and rhythm and improvisation and the individual. A lot of people went to a jazz dance class in their life, and what did they do? Some high kicks and big smiles. And not that that's not a thing too, but since the beginning of this company, somehow, I don't know, Vicky's a magic force, and Hannah Stillwell and Michelle Moss, the co-founders, are also incredible forces, and they built something that we're standing on incredible shoulders here. So that never gets old.
Yeah. What can we look forward to in the future from your organizations?
Each of the shows we've got coming up this year is quite different. We have 3 of them are brand new plays by Calgary artists. So we have a new musical by Jose LeBay of Forte Musical Theatre, and we're co-producing it with them, which is really fun for the holidays. We also have a winter comedy about the 1988 Olympics by Camille Pavlenko that happens in the winter, and then a new comedy, it's kind of a coming-of-age comedy in a video store by James Oden Wade happening at the end of the season. So that's 12 days for the holidays. Go for Gold, Audrey Pham, and then Please Return to Empire Video. Those are all by local people. And then to start everything off, backing up a bit, in the fall, we're bringing a play called Jake's Gift back to Lunchbox that we've already hosted a couple times. Julia Mackey's play has been touring extensively since she first premiered it in, I want to say, around 2008. And it's a beautiful, incredible piece that we're going to have on around Remembrance Day about a Second World War veteran going to the shores of Juno Beach to kind of like grapple with his memories and loss and all that stuff. And he meets this 10-year-old French girl. And they sort of develop this unexpected kind of connection, and it's just a beautiful piece. And one of the things I'm really excited about being our 50th season is that we have that piece. Of course, it's about Second World War, so it takes place later, thinking back to it, but it's kind of the 40s. The holiday musical is in the 60s. The Olympics one is in the 80s, and then the video store one is in the early 2000s. So for our 50th season, we have new pieces, Canadian pieces, that also kind of span this, a good chunk of time. And hopefully, back to your question about like who they're for, I mean, I just hope it's for everybody. I'll say one more thing. Last season, we had a really great collaboration with Chromatic Theatre, and we premiered a piece called Kisat Mata by Bianca Miranda. And it was our first time working with them, and that piece was about Filipino Canadians. And we got really into, in that collaboration, seeing how can we really invite a community that doesn't necessarily even know Lunchbox is here or hasn't usually come to Lunchbox, with first and second generation Filipinos and our incredible Filipino community here in Calgary. And it was just, it was a beautiful collaboration, and to really expand hopefully people's impression of who Lunchbox is for and who can come. And we hope to continue to do more of those kinds of things. I think collaboration is so important, but also really finding different local stories from really different perspectives.
I mean, best answer ever.
It's kind of a long one, thank you.
No, but we needed all that information. Tell us about Alberta Theatre Project's season coming up.
We have a very exciting season that is also about connection, community, Calgary. And we're starting off with The Seafarer, which is actually an Irish play, and that is going to be starring Calgarian Paul Gross, who is going to be on stage for the first time in over 40 years in Calgary. Yes. So that's kicking off our season, and then we are bringing back something from our history, which is Charlotte's Web will be our holiday family show, and we're very excited about that. That will be directed by Calgarian Rebecca Northern and feature a wonderful Calgarian cast that we will be announcing very soon. We're excited about that one as well. Then we have something that we're hoping to expand our audiences to people that maybe haven't come before in a kind of younger demographic. It's a show called King James by Rajiv Joseph. He has written a wonderful show that will be directed by our artistic director, Haitham Kadri. It's based in Cleveland, and King James is LeBron James. And it is about two basketball fans who, and it's in 4 quarters, and it's about their relationship over their time. So it's about fandom, it's about kind of brotherhood. It's going to be great. We're hoping to work with the Calgary Surge and some of the basketball community.
You're bringing tall people?
Tall people, welcome to come. As many tall people.
Okay, I'm coming to that one. No, yes, we love that, but usually in front of the camera, this is too big. I call it fun size, but it's nice to know that that's there. And I recognized it, so somebody else is going to recognize it, which I think happens with everybody's work.
Wonderful. And then our final spring comedy, we've got a history of spring comedies to close out our season. We have a Canadian play by Sophia Fabili, and it's called Liars at a Funeral.
Oh,
So that you don't really need to know much more than the title to know that is going to be a complete farce and very fun. It features a cast of 5 people playing 9 characters. So there's lots of quick changes and there's lots of ins and outs and slamming of doors and everything you could expect from a spring comedy at ATP.
I'll be honest. I thought, how many people are in coffins if you're talking about liars at a funeral? Right, I'm not going to be laying down there. All right, we want to talk about dance stuff now.
Well, we are creation-based, so that means that we tend to make new work every season. This season is a slight exception. We're going to do a new piece that I hope I'm not jinxing it by saying out loud because the band hasn't signed yet, but it's a band from New Orleans. But they are actually all not from New Orleans. In fact, the band leader, Marla Dixon, is from Barrie, Ontario. So I think there's something about people who are not born into jazz finding it and bringing it together. But they are a traditional New Orleans band, which means that they sound like the early 20s. They're a 6-piece, they have a washboard player. And it's not a period piece, it's set in this time, but it is called Call and Response, and it's just about that, the call and the response. So I'm starting that on Monday, so.
Well, we're manifesting.
I don't know what it's about yet, guys. We're gonna see.
Okay, I'm getting goosebumps because I feel like that's so beautiful. Like just the alignment of it. We're manifesting that signature.
Okay, they're gonna
this
sign,
week,
they're gonna
this
sign.
week,
Yes, thank
getting
you,
it
Adora.
signed.
Yes.
And all that means is I get a ticket to.
Oh, yeah,
But
you can
also, creating without knowing where it's going. Knowing that you have to finish something, but you don't necessarily know, and that's a journey of itself.
That's my favorite part. Best part of the job. I love it. So that's where we're starting. So that'll be in January as part of the rodeo. We're also co-presenting a tap dancer from Vancouver, Danny Nielsen, who's performing in the rodeo. And then we're doing a retrospective called Reminiscing in Tempo after the Duke Ellington tune in April, May, and that will feature work by DJD artists over the years. So I'm really excited about that. And one other thing that we're gonna do, in the early 90s, Vicky coined this idea in a show called the Jazz Walk, and it was just a short dance, one dancer traveling from one side of the stage to the other as a transition. Originally it was always set to percussion music, but we changed it over the years. We've used it in various ways. So this year, I wanna have 40 jazz walks that happen on this street, maybe at like 4:45 on a Thursday, and it will be an improvised performance by a dancer, and maybe we can call on some like founders and co-founders to maybe make a little guest appearance. So, and maybe some guests. So stay tuned.
I love that. That's so fun.
Being part of an art institution, like it doesn't start one day and then you're off. And so these milestone anniversaries give me a little bit look back and a look forward. What are some of the dream projects that you're thinking about?
I can talk a little bit about ATP. I know that for over 25 years of our 50-year history, we had a playwriting festival, and we put on many plays during that time, and we would have theatres from across the country come to Calgary to check out what was new in Canadian theatre. And I think that's something that we don't do anymore, although we still support playwrights in various different ways and emerging artists, because I think it's something that more theatres are doing. But ATP was really one of the trailblazers, along with Lunchbox as well, in kind of that playwriting world. I'm interested to see where that goes, because I'm executive director, not the artistic director. You know, the artistic decisions aren't necessarily in my realm, but I'm interested in the next 5 years what it looks like for our organisation as part of the ecosystem Arts Commons, which is going through a big transformation at the moment. So we're going to have some new venues. We're going to be having renovations of the existing venues. So I think that that's exciting to see, like what opportunities that presents for our organisation and for our audiences.
It's really been a wild privilege to be a part of the company so long, to see how it's grown. A huge milestone for us was this space.
Yes.
If we had not built this space, we would have died. Where we were was unsustainable, and the rent kept increasing. And luckily, executive director Kathy Sundstrom is a superstar, and she made this all happen. So now that we have the Jazz Palace, it feels like there is possibility. We need audiences, we need new audiences, and we need people to invest in the arts desperately.
We haven't quite refound what we had, what people tell me about, which I wasn't here for, of sort of those glory days of like the 80s and 90s. But I know that there's still a really important place for theater that is within our performing arts ecology, for theater that is more bite-sized, that is less of a commitment from the audience, both financially and in terms of time, but is still just as good and beautiful and professional. So I think it's still important that we do one-act plays at lunch, but we're always trying to figure out how to make it truly sustainable. So I'll get back to you maybe someday if we come up with the solution. But in terms of the big dreams, once we're really stable here, I would love for more of our shows to actually go outside of Calgary. Because we do small cast one acts, they should be able to tour. They are pieces that are built in a way that should be able to go into other small theaters and do this. And so my dream is to have a piece that sort of goes across Canada. I had a chat with another artistic director in Winnipeg recently about a play that we'd love to do together, and could it be in both Calgary and Winnipeg? And then I thought, what if there's 4 actors in the play? What if they all come from a different city, and we do it in Montreal and Winnipeg and Calgary and Vancouver, for example? And I would love to see that kind of collaboration, not just collaboration within the city, but across the country, and to see our work kind of, have more legs. Yeah.
I'm gonna be manifesting everything today. I find a feather or something. I need something. Do you still need more time, Kim? I mean, there are artists I want to work with. I want this community to grow, because it's not only us here. We have resident companies, and we want people to dance. I want people to know who DJD is, because I feel like we're still a well-kept secret. We had an amazing experience this summer. We were one of the first group of dancers to ever perform at the Newport Jazz Festival, the longest running festival, 70 years. And we went with 2 dancers, and I want to go back with the full company. Yeah. Okay.
So,
okay.
There are some big dreams for you.
Big dreams.
Yeah.
Big dreams. Great conversation. I hope that all our dreams come true. Truly, truly, truly. There's nothing better than self-expression, knowing yourself, and having an audience that appreciates it. I guess there's 3 things. And when you can't get all 3, I mean, we go back inside and do it all over again. But congratulations to Lunchbox Theatre, Alberta Theatre Projects, and decidedly Jazz Dance Works. All looks good on you. It's a privilege.
Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Thank you to our guests. And to see what's on the docket as the season begins, visit yycwhat'son.ca. See you soon, or maybe sooner, on Living a Creative Life.